in a world where it's never been easier to do nothing, doing something becomes extraordinary.
You will never in life meet a hater doing better than you.
Successful people see opportunity in every failure. Normal people see failure in every opportunity. Both are right. Only one gets rich.
Next one. The heaviest things in life aren't iron and gold, but unmade decisions. The reason you are stressed is that you have decisions to make and you're not making them.
Now you fight. I'm gonna push you down a little bit. You fight me. Lift me in the air. Lift me in the air. Pull! Everything you got. Your life depends upon this, and it does. Go!
General ambition gives you anxiety. Specific ambition gives you direction. There is nothing more anxiety-inducing than I want to be better, and I don't know what at, and I don't know how.
That nothing is easy. Nothing is free. If you want to be successful, you have to pay the price.
The biggest risk to your future isn't your competition. It's the distractions you insist on keeping in your life, rather than doing the things you know you should be doing but aren't. People delay doing things they don't like for longer than it takes to do them.
Promise yourself. You fucking promise yourself you'll be the best fucking person you can be. That is what makes you train. That is what makes muscles grow. Nobody fucking knows the secret. That is it. And that feeling like you have to fucking do it.
Be one of those men who finds things, who figures things out, who sees things that others are not able to see. And then you'll find an excitement and an adventure and a purpose in life that you never knew was there.
I know of no better life purpose than to perish in attempting the great and impossible. The fact that something seems impossible shouldn't be a reason to not pursue it. That's exactly what makes it worth pursuing. Where would the courage and greatness be if success was certain and there was no risk? The only true failure is shrinking away from life's challenges.
I wasn't blessed with great genetics. I didn't have, small waist and big shoulders. I wasn't 6'5". But you know what? I wasn't even competing with anyone else. I was trying to beat that guy, Tom Platz, every day. If I had challenged Tom Platz, whatever he did, I could do better.
Also means that I have to go through the circumstances that would create that man, which means that if I have unbelievable big dreams and big goals, then I have to go through hard times. It's like hate. The hard times are a requisite for success. And so if you're going through hard times right now, it means that you're on the path to success, and it's not that you're on the wrong path, it's the feeling of being on the right path.
Most people never pick up a phone call, most people never ask, and that's what separates sometimes the people that do things from the people that just dream about them. You gotta act, and you've got to be willing to fail. You've got to be willing to crash and burn. With people on the phone, with starting a company, with whatever. If you're afraid of failing, you won't get very far.
There's a coordination problem that happens when you try to balance too quickly. When you try to have a little bit of fun and a little bit of play and a little bit of fun and a little bit of play, whether it's task switching, whether it's just sort of the cognitive effort of your personality. Like your identity is, I'm gym guy for 3 months, hooray. I'm work guy for 3 months, hooray. But when it's, I'm gym guy this morning, I'm work guy this afternoon, it's tough. It's tough to do that.
In my early days, I would spend a very long time in front of a computer telling myself that I was working with very few minutes actually on task. And that's why I think that most things are actually significantly easier than people think they are. They just don't know how to try hard. Because the harder that you try, the easier it gets. And so it's like, if you can just learn to love what trying hard feels like, then all of a sudden it becomes unreasonable that you can't win.
You have to have a dog in you, man. And so you have to have it, like my grandfather called it, a stiff upper lip. You better have a stiff upper lip. So, yeah, she has some dog in her. She has to. There's no other way to make it out here. I mean, you can't just always be, head down in the sand. You got to learn to pick yourself up on your own. A lot of times these fights and these battles, you got to be your own fucking coach. You got to be your own motivator.
Consistency has always been the hardest thing for most people to achieve. But the intensity of what you have to do to be successful is much lower than most people expect. Mm-hmm. And so oftentimes they suffer significantly more in a short period of time than is required to be successful over a much longer period of time with a much lower intensity. And so it's just like if you walk for 5 minutes a day, you're going to get, 50% of the health benefits, probably more than that, I'm sure, of just even exercising. You add 10 years to your life if you walked 5 or 10 minutes a day.
Why I hate being around negative people. Being an asshole is a weak person's idea of strength. Complaining is their connection. Never let yourself be held back by other people's fears. People criticize what they were afraid to do themselves because bold action reminds them of their own inaction. If you're afraid to be criticized, why do you care about the opinions of those who are too timid to do it themselves? If you are the criticizer, does tearing down someone who has the courage you lack make you better?
When you had that third failure in a row, did you think, I need to pack this in?
Never.
Why not?
I don't ever give up.
There are people who've been in the rocketry business for decades who say about you that you don't know what you don't know.
Well, I suppose that's true of anyone. How can anyone know what they don't know?
But when critics say you can't do this, your answer to them is,
we've done it.
Nothing is going to be worthwhile that doesn't come with an associated amount of discomfort. Therefore, when you start to feel friends around you and the people that you used to be able to speak a common language with start to push back and start to make the quips of, oh, not drinking tonight, yeah? Oh, you must be too cool for us now. I know it hurts. I know it hurts. That is the lead indicator, not even the lagging indicator. That is the lead indicator that you are doing the right thing.
You have to want it. You have to want to be better. And it starts off with you have to have pride in yourself. You have to have pride in yourself. You have to have, there's something about you, whether it's your last name, whether it's just the smallest thing. You have to be proud of yourself. And if you have no pride in yourself, I can't give it to you.
Because you're always going to compromise. You're always going to fold.
Always. I'm very proud of myself. That's why when people said, you know where you can do better than Can't Hurt Me. Roger that. We'll fucking see.
When you're winning, you're not as good as you think you are. When you're losing, you're not as bad as you think you are. What's that mean to you?
Both of them lie. Both of them is exaggerated. Both of them are, when you're winning, everybody's telling you how amazing you are. Oh my God, let me tell you, dude, you know what? You're the best. You're amazing. You're just better than that guy, and you're better than this guy. And it always takes me back to that quote of Marcus Aurelius, who had a slave that would sit behind him and always whisper to him, hey,
you're just a man.
You're just a man.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares. That's what really, really counts. Is you think everybody cares. I want to tell that young lady, I won't say her name. Do you think people really care about this and about your friends don't want to talk to you? That's bullshit. In the end, nobody cares, right? So live your life and don't worry about bullshit like that. Nobody cares. And it's true. How many times have I said that? What are you worried about? Nobody cares.
If you see that you have an empty calendar, most people assume that if someone asks you for that time, it's therefore theirs. And it's only not theirs when someone else has claimed it, which means that your time only belongs to other people. And then you're surprised by the fact that your investment of time has yielded nothing for you when you've given the only and most valuable asset that you have to everyone else, who often give a very poor return on it for you. And so in the beginning, if you don't have money, the only thing you have is time. And so that is the only thing it's the only currency you can spend to improve yourself or get closer to your goals. And so if that's the one currency you have, then why on earth would you give it away?
Well, you got your own back in life. You're not relying on somebody else, hoping they come through for you. No, you're blaze trailing, making new paths. Self-dependent, self-reliant, self-dominating, self-success. Bet on yourself, guys. You'll never lose if you bet on yourself. Always bet on yourself. I sit back and watch the legacy build, man. Through payments of this. That's life. That's a good life. That's a life remembered. That's the life I want you to live.
I'd say one of the strongest mental frames that has gotten me through my hardest times is thinking this will be the story that I will one day tell. And that means the harder it is, the bigger the dragon, the more epic the story, and by consequence, the more epic the hero. And if you think about the difference between winners and losers, winners define themselves by what they made happen, and losers define themselves by what happened to them. And the difficult part of the lonely chapter is that the Rocky cutscene lasts 90 seconds in the movie and lasts 5 years in reality.
With no promise of it ever ending. No guarantee of glory.
I'm capable of so much more than my mind understands. And I think that's just the greatest part of the journey that I've achieved, is like that understanding of what I'm capable of and that belief in myself to what I can accomplish. And it only came through the journey. It didn't come through the winning. It came through the challenge that came along the journey and coming through it and fighting through it and the beauty of all that. And on top of that, there's just been so many moments in the midst of things where like it's a workout or it's a diet or I'm starving or I'm like doing check-ins or something and I'm just like, this is incredible. Like I'm peak condition in the world right now, fighting to be the best in the world, and I'm living in that moment right now. I'm doing this is what it takes. When people see something on stage, this is what they don't see, or what I'm feeling in my mind, what no one will understand, what it takes to get there. I get to experience this every day, and I think it's just part of the human experience of feeling in life that's just so beautiful.
Listen, when I came to the United States, I remember that I trained 5 hours a day, every day, and I was managing a construction business and I was a bricklayer, and I went to college also, and I took acting classes from 8 o'clock at night to 12 o'clock midnight. All of that in one day. Every day I did that. I did not worry about it. I knew that I had 24 hours and I didn't want to waste one single hour, because I believe of what Ted Turner said, who is one of the great entrepreneurs who started CNN and so on. He said, early to bed, early to rise, work like hell and advertise. So that's what I believe. Just remember, you can't climb that ladder of success with your hands in your pockets. You must work your ass off. It's that simple.
Well, everybody, it's Groundhog's Day again for David Goggins. If you pan it down here, you see it's about 3 o'clock in the morning and there's not a car or a person in sight. If you pan over here, it's the same thing. Not a car or a person in sight. People want to know where I find my strength at, where I get my strength. I get it from a lot of places, but right now, this morning, I'm getting it from, there's not a motherfucker that's up. There's not a car, there's not a person. Everybody's in their bed, sleep, dreading that it's a Monday, hate it's a Monday, and I'm loving it. I'm loving that. Where everybody's getting weaker, I'm getting stronger. It's not about the running, the swimming, the push-ups, the sit-ups. It's about what those things do for your mentality. You don't get better on the daggone couch. You get better by coming out here and getting the fuck after it every daggone day. Stay hard.
If you think back to college, when you were a freshman, you think, wow, this is so hard or whatever. And then by the time you're a senior, you're like, man, these kids are so soft. And so we remember things as harder than they were. But I also think that there is a thread of reality, which is that the younger generation is softer. And I think we are softer than the generation above us. When I think about the guys who were storming Normandy, and I think about the people who would be attempting to do that now, as a class, I think that we are softer. And so the thing is that if you can barely decide to take any action at all and peel your eyes away from your phone for just a moment, it's so much easier to beat everyone else, because most people are overweight, they're distracted, they're poor, they have so few skills, because it has never been easier to start a business, to make money, to get in shape. It's just also never been easier to do nothing.
Lean into discomfort as if you invited it through the door. And it's a phrase that stuck with me because it feels like you are in control of the frame. Like, okay, in you come. And
let's do this.
Yeah. As opposed to, again, the fear that you have around being guilty, or the agitation you have around being shameful, or the distraction that you need to do in order to be able to get away from it. It's an interesting one to think about, how bad days are also a part of a very good and meaningful life, that it does really frame the story at the end. Both you and 𝐘𝐨𝐻 have said the same thing in the last 2 episodes I've spoken to you about, which is the bad days create the story that I'm one day going to tell myself about what I got through.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Without the bad days, the story would be way more lame. There would be no glory in overcoming anything, because what did you overcome? It was all just 40 to 60, vanilla ice cream mush, gray, existence.
Yeah.
Most people don't get the fast enough feedback loop to know that they're on the right path when they are taking these first steps in the right direction, because they have this really big goal, but they forget that with that really big goal comes the even longer delay that it takes to get there, while still continuing to act with no feedback from society.
No positive reinforcement. No
whatsoever.
Nothing.
And I think that's if I actually had to put a real, what has worked so well for me, and why the input over the output focus has been so powerful, is that I can extend the time horizon basically indefinitely, because the goal is me, and then the external goals occur.
You don't need the positive reinforcement. I mean, everybody's seen it.
No, I need the positive reinforcement, but the positive reinforcement is coming from me.
Internally.
I'm just being just because I think it's important.
The positive external reinforcement that most people are looking for.
Right. But if you are the goal, then the actions you take every day are reinforcing who you believe yourself to be. That's where the confidence comes from.
As long as they're directionally correct.
And if you just want to be satisfied, then just work your ass off.
Because the more discipline you have in your life, the more freedom you will end up with. So if you lack the discipline to exercise and eat healthy, you will end up being a slave to disease. If you lack the discipline to work hard, save your money, you will end up a slave to finances. If you lack the discipline to manage your time correctly, you will end up with no free time. If you have self-discipline, if you have the discipline to save your money and work hard and invest your money properly, if you have the discipline to manage your time correctly and not waste a bunch of time, if you have the discipline to exercise and eat healthy, you will end up with freedom. And I know it's a counterintuitive, it's contrarian, but I've seen this over and over and over again. If you want freedom in your life, you have to have discipline.
The difference is, how do you look at it? How do you approach it? How do you deal with it? How do you admit it and see it for what it is? And then what do you do about it? What do you do about it? You cry about it, you mope about it, you drink about it, you sleep around about it, you get mad and get in fights about it, you just hang around, just turn the world out, just zombie about it, you fry yourself with marijuana about it. Say, Dwayne, I'm sad. Dude, that's a part of life. Do you think you're the only man on this planet that's sad? Say, Dwayne, I'm going through depression. Well, welcome to the world. Welcome to the rest of us. You think I don't go through depression sometimes? You think I don't get sad sometimes? You think I don't just feel wore out and burnt plumb down to the bottom of my soul? We all do. We all do. That's what sets us apart. That's what makes us different. That's what makes us men. We're not men because we face the battle and we get immediately victory every time a battle comes up. We're men because we face the battle and we stay in the battle when we feel like we're losing and we feel like we're getting beat up, but we stay in there and we keep fighting and we plant our feet and we say, until death do I part, this is me and I will fight this battle, regardless of what the battle is.
This tension between self-love and high standards, right? It's the desire to maximize everything you can and to not leave more on the table than you need to, and also the ability to enjoy the moment and to be able to actually take some pleasure in that. And there was something that came up from a friend that I wrote about this week, so I wanted to explain this to you. He did a 𝐳𝐨𝐽 journey in Australia, and a question came to him, and the question was, do people love you for who you are or for what you do?
This is uncomfortable to consider. People loving us for who we are feels more real, genuine, caring, empathetic, and robust. It feels like we're less fickle and more difficult to lose. On the other hand, people loving us for what we do feels transactional and transient. The love that we receive becomes contingent on what achievements and successes we can offer in return. And the obvious fear is that if a point came where we no longer had anything to offer in return, would our love be taken away? So here's an even more uncomfortable question. Do you love you for who you are or for what you do? This highlights our hypocrisy. You see, we want the world to love us for who we are, a balanced, caring view of our true value, independent of our accomplishments. Meanwhile, our own self-love is largely determined by what we do. If we fall short, even though we know we tried our best, we still castigate ourselves for being insufficient, unworthy creatures. So we want the world to show up for us in a way that we are often not prepared to show up for ourselves. You demand more than this. Demand it of yourself.
This world we live in is tough. It's tough. It will beat you down. The world and the life that we live in is the ultimate competitor. It will try to take you out. It will find your weakness and it will fucking just hammer you.
It's like a personal curse.
100%. So if I can help you build belief, build confidence to the point where nothing can hurt you because you know exactly who you are. You've faced your demons. You've been able to go on an audiobook in your mind. Maybe you didn't write a book, but in your mind, you were able to hear all your past traumas. You were able to listen to them. You're able to fucking say, okay, now I can now talk to people about what I went through. I'm no longer embarrassed. I'm no longer ashamed. Being ashamed is one of the biggest things that kill people nowadays. In their minds, kill them from moving forward. I'm ashamed of myself. Don't ever be ashamed of anything you've done in your life. Face it, fix it, make it better. We are humans. But then again, if you always think that we're humans, you will always just be a human and always make the same fucking mistakes. You must take this knowledge that you learn from all this shit is knowledge. So I'm just trying to give people that strength to go in the archives of your life. Because while you're probably fucked up, it's probably something happened to you in your life. Go through the archives, dig it up, study it, and then use it for yourself. That's the main purpose for me right now.
One of my direct subordinates, one of my guys that worked for me, he would call me up or pull me aside with some major problem, some issue that was going on. And he'd say, boss, we got this and that and the other thing. And I'd look at him and I'd say, good. And finally one day he was telling me about some issue that he was having, some problem. And he said, I already know what you're going to say. I said, well, what am I going to say? He said, you're going to say good. He said, that's what you always say. When something is wrong and going bad, you always just look at me and say good. And I said, well, yeah, when things are going bad, there's going to be some good that's going to come from it. Didn't get the new high-speed gear we wanted? Good. Didn't get promoted? Good. More time to get better. Oh, mission got canceled? Good. We can focus on another one. Didn't get funded. Didn't get the job you wanted. Got injured. Sprained my ankle. Got tapped out? Good. Got beat? Good. Unexpected problems? Good. We have the opportunity to figure out a solution. That's it. When things are going bad, don't get all bummed out. Don't get startled. Don't get frustrated. If you can say the word good, guess what? It means you're still alive. It means you're still breathing. And if you're still breathing, well then hell, you still got some fight left in you. So get up, dust off, reload, recalibrate, re-engage, and go out on the attack.
If my life was a movie and someone were to watch it, I hope they'd be inspired to take risks, not just risks to achieve success, but embrace feeling, both pride and shame, fear and excitement. Personally, I want to experience as much life as possible, and that only happens when you embrace the highs and the lows. And this is your thing about not just numbing the bad, but numbing the good, numbing the joy.
I was like, I feel happy, but like I'm not like overjoyed and excited and like ecstatic. And then my therapist put it back on me. She's like, well, what about the floor? Do you have a floor of negative that you're willing to feel? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I don't want to feel the bad shit. She's like, well, they expand at the same time. You open up a broad spectrum of emotion and you build your heart to feel these things. And if you don't have a high, you don't have lows, it doesn't come. If you numb the bad, you numb the good. And that's kind of where that all came from. So learning to embrace all those things. And the funny thing is when you learn to embrace them, they're way more fleeting than you realize. To sit on something in your mind for a while, to stress about it and not want to feel it, it lingers for a long period of time. But to just embrace it and to feel it, to cry, to express it, to however it needs to express itself out of you, it happens a lot quicker than you think, and you're able to move through it. And then when you look back at it, you're like, that was kind of beautiful, you know? Like, people love watching sad movies and crying sometimes, and you're sad in the movie, and you're like, fuck, that was really sad. But you go back and you watch another sad movie. You know, we like feeling things. We enjoy emotion. It's the human experience is highs and lows. There is no high without lows. And I think just being able to accept that there's inevitably going to be shit times in your life, and the more you can lean into them and feel them, the more you can lean into feeling to the high ones as well. And it's just part of the journey.
The winners always show up. They're willing to lose in order to gain. Big mental thing there, guys. This body, as great as you are, as sharp as you make the arsenal, it can't do anything if you don't have confidence in yourself. We all fall down in life. The question is, who gets back up? You go after and you give it all you have. If you lose, at least you tried, man. I failed. It's 10 times more of a man than someone said, what if? Because what if never went to the arena. When you guys find a fear, that fear will either create you or destroy you. I love fear, and the reason why, behind every fear is a person you want to be. Fear is self-imposed, meaning it doesn't exist. You create it, you can destroy it too. It's an intangible. If you face your fears, guys, you will realize it's not that big. And once you face it, you go, oh my God, man, I spent all this time running from it. It was so small. If I just faced it, my God, not only did I face it, I beat it back, energy's never lost, transferred. That negative energy, that fear, is destroyed. It comes back in as confidence. You're like, what else am I capable of? What else am I holding my back from that I'm capable of more? What am I running from I don't need to? What else can I overcome? You face your fears, you become the person you want to be. You run from your fears, you're not living. You're alive, but you're not taking the freedom. You're not running the day. The day's running you. You always be the fucking servant, not the master, guys. If you find a fear, the quickest, the easiest way you can beat it is initially, right when it comes in. If you allow it to sit, it will grow root and start breaking you down, destroying the potential of the person you can be. Again, the champions, guys. It's not their potential, it's not their genetics. It's their perseverance to always show up, always willing to fail, because in failure, that's part of success. Success is not, a marathon of life with just ups. Success is formulated through failures. Through facing your fears, through falling down and getting back up. That's what creates the champion. Success does not define us. We define the success.
Eventually, I realized not everybody is driven by the same thing. All I care about, that's something that drives you, okay? My oldest son could care less. You know what he wants for a car? His favorite car? A Jeep. That's his dream car. My daughter says, I want a white Ferrari. Okay, and I said, who do you think is going to buy that for you? Well, Daddy, you're going to buy it. I said, I'm not buying you a white Ferrari. You're going to buy yourself a white Ferrari. Dylan wants a completely different car. My oldest son, you know what is absolutely a great day for him? Outside, in the dirt, playing with lizards, catching animals, playing with dogs and cats. That's an incredible day. By the way, he's been like that since 9 months. My youngest son, 10 years old, first time I take him to my barber to get a haircut, and one of the girls at this place, they give massages at the end when you get the haircut. My oldest son says, don't touch my back. Don't touch me. He would go like this. He's like, no, Dad, I don't tell her not to touch me, right? But my 10-year-old son, it was 5 at the time. She's like, can you also massage me over here?
Oh, he likes the finer things in life.
He likes the finer things in life, right? Oh. My oldest son loves dogs. He loves animals. My youngest son, don't get on my bed. Get off my bed. My oldest son wants a dog right next to him. The youngest son doesn't want any of the dogs next to him. And his dad loves dogs. I love animals, right? So I'm not, I think Joe specializes in doing the hard. If there's anybody that specializes in doing the hard, it's Joe. You kidding me? Like, Joe's enamored by doing the hard. But also Joe's learned to be so self-aware of himself, to know what he likes. I said, Joe, what do you think about sports? He said, I know nothing about sports. I don't watch sports. The only thing I watch is UFC. Joe, now that you're getting all these eyeballs, what's your vision? What if we can do this, Pat? The only thing I want to do is, I just want to do podcasts.
Yeah.
I want to go hunt. I want to be my family. I want to do UFC. This is all I want to do. The level of clarity he has of where he's at, props to him. Now, Dana White, slightly different. Dana's not worth a few hundred, so he's worth $500 million today. Why is he still driving? Why is he still pushing? Why is he still competing? Why is he still wanting to be number one? Who's his enemy? He drives around in nice cars, likes to go to the casino, likes to be around with people, having fun late night. Two different dynamics, two different personalities. Look at the organization they built with UFC.
Well, I mean, thinking of someone who chooses their enemies tactically, Dana is not someone who's shy of a fight.
He loves it.
All men are created equal. Some work harder in preseason. I'm going to say it again because you might have missed it. All men are created equal. Some work harder in preseason. So that means that there are some people who are going to see the professor, going to see the TA. And even when the professor says, I don't meet with you, my TA meet with you, you say, I don't want to talk to your TA. I don't pay the TA. I pay you to teach me. So you're going to have to find some time to meet me. If I got to meet you at the mall, if I got to meet you at your house, you are going to see me. Listen to me. All men are created equal. Some work hard in preseason. When I went to college, guys were way smarter than me. 4.0s, 3.0s. They went to the Ivy League high schools, came to Oakwood from these great high schools. Most of them are not doing what I'm doing. Why? Because it's not about where you come from. It's about heart. You come to a place where, being smart ain't enough. You got to have heart. That's number one. Watch number two. Number two, catch number two. I wrote it down. I wanted to make sure you got it. It says watch this. We're talking about sacrifice now. The important thing is this. You're writing while I'm saying it, because I only have about 3 more minutes. Listen to me. The most important thing is this: to be able at any moment to sacrifice what you are for what you will become. That's the number 2 thing. You got to catch that one. To be able to, listen to me, at any moment. Some of you can make sacrifices when Monday Night Football is not on. You can make a sacrifice, but when the game come on, for some reason, you just attach to it. For some of you, when your favorite show come on, you can make sacrifices on Sunday when ain't nothing going on. But when your favorite show comes on Monday, bam, some of you focus until the phone ring, and then you like, I gotta answer it. If I don't answer the phone, I'm gonna die. I'm saying to you today that there are some of you, if you give up your cell phone, you would be successful. But your cell phone is more important to you than your success. I'm gonna say it again. I'm gonna hurt somebody. Some of you need to give up your cell phone, because the time you spend on your cell phone could be used for your success. The time you could be using to be successful, you're using it on the cell. And the cell phone is not bringing you nothing but a bill. And somebody has told you you couldn't live without it. I'm talking about going deep now, giving up stuff. Watch what it says. To be able at any moment to sacrifice what we are for what we could be. I don't do well in math. You're right. You ain't never studied. I'm not good in writing because you have never written before. But I dare you to fail in writing for a whole year to see if you can get to the end. I dare you to fail. I dare you to take that same class over and over again. I dare you to stop dropping classes like you soft.
Some of the biggest people that we read about, we watch movies about, it's one of their 2 parents that did something to them. I'm with Tom Brady a month ago. We have him at the event. And the formula I see with a lot of people that do something big is 3 things. One, at one point in their lives, they experience unconditional love because you need it. It's fuel. You have to have it. Even if it's just from one person, okay? Unconditional love means what? You screwed up. You went to jail. You got a DUI. You got kicked out of school. You got expelled. Everybody ousted you and said you're a nobody. You're not going to amount to anything. You're a loser. You're this. But that mother there always said, honey, I love you. You can do anything to lose this one person's love. One person. That's all you need. You don't need 50 of them. Just one. Unconditional love. Number 2 is you need somebody who brought unbelievable pain in your life that you loved. This is a person you and I loved, that they destroyed our heart. We couldn't do anything to gain love from this person? Nothing. Perform, tell them we love them, go above and beyond, give them money, buy them gifts, give them incredible experiences, become buff, have a six-pack, drive a Ferrari, have a Lambo, own a penthouse, have a yacht, be best friends with the best athletes, with billionaires. No matter what you do, this person brought you so much pain, you can never win this person over. It is a battle your entire life, try to win this person over. You're never going to do it. It's not going to happen, but you need that person as well. And you know what the last one is, obviously, choosing your enemies wisely. You take a person that has those three combination. By the way, very rarely will they ever tell you the entire reason. Very rarely will they fully disclose everything. Some of them will take you to their grave with them. We will never know about it. But for someone to have the kind of a fire that goes years beyond 99% of people would have stopped, what's the reason for it? What else do you need? How many more accolades? How many more tens of millions of dollars? How many more cars? How many more houses? How many more top charts on podcasts? Number one this. What's the reason for it? You know, it's again, we're not talking about everybody. Most people will listen to this whole concept of choose your enemies wisely and they'll say, that's hate. What a miserable life. What a this, what a that. No, most people chose the wrong enemies. The enemies they've chosen is about being entitled, is about being victims, about feeling sorry for themselves, and it's destroyed them. It's stolen years away from their lives. So yeah, the way you're describing what you're saying, you know, you'll typically see a pattern with those three things of people who do something big. They experience those three. And unfortunately, the reason why I like Musk's book is when you read it, you see the pattern with all three. Unconditional love, mom and Kimball, his brother. Unconditional pain, father. Choosing his enemies wisely. Industry, traditional, you know, guys who are like, this is the way we do with NASA, you know, governmental agencies, censorship, you know, establishment. He's just recruiting new enemies for himself every day. It's like bored. He needs more enemies and more enemies. But guess who's talking about him around the world? Everybody is. And 100 years from now, our kids, our grandkids will look back and say, man, who was this Elon Musk guy? Unfortunately, we're not going to be around to talk about who it was, how we viewed him, but they're going to be watching plenty of documentaries and movies about a guy like that because he chose his enemies wisely.
Success, guys, is a very, very lonely road, man. Very few people are willing to endure the pain, the sacrifice, the due diligence to be successful. It's an uphill battle. And along that road, you're not going to see too many friends. You're going to see your shadow most often. You got to trust in the heart of hearts. Inside what you're doing, what you believe in is a worthy cause, a winnable fight. See, the thing is, for many people, they've tried the same path you're on, and they failed. As you walk this journey, you're going to see carcasses all over the place of people that didn't quite have it. That should inspire you because you got further than that person and that person. But you're not looking to get further than them, you're looking to finish. How do you know you're on the right path? Where do you go to ensure that? Do you talk to your neighbor? No, you don't talk to him. I'll tell you about the neighbor, guys. That neighbor's gonna come in, man, and if you're a little chubby, a little overweight, you'd be like, hey, man, I'm thinking about doing a routine, man, or getting a training program where I lose some weight. He's gonna encourage you at first. He's like, yeah, you should. Basically insulting your ass, and you're fat, and you need to lose some weight. It's never support, it's negative shit. Oh, you should lose some weight. So then you take his advice, and you start training, you start doing something, you start to get in shape a little bit, maybe at his level. Then all of a sudden, he's gonna start asking questions, his tone's gonna shift, especially as you get in better shape than him. Then he's gonna start talking shit. Because what happens now, guys, is that your success is like a spotlight shining down on their missed opportunities. Success, many will love you for it. The majority will hate you. Because your success makes them feel insufficient in their current endeavor. Reminds them of where they could have done it, but they came up short, and how they didn't revisit it. Where they went at it and failed, and failure is what stood. They never revisited it again. The difference between a winner and a loser, the failure's there every single time. It's just the winner gets back up and does it again, until it goes his way. So now you're down that path and you're all alone. How do you know you're on the right path? How do you know what you're doing is in the right direction? If you're wondering if you're on the right path, look at the small things of life. How do you do them? When you wash your car, you spend an hour washing your car, You finish washing, you put the hoses and everything away and the brushes, and you come outside to look at the job you did, but you notice a spot's missing. What do? Do you re-grab the hoses, pull it all out, and finish the job right? Or do you say, you know, it's good enough? And it's good enough. Because the thing about good enough is we don't know if it's enough. Until the nth hour, the final hour, and everything's on the line. That's when we find out if it is enough. And if we come up short, man, doesn't that suck? I promise you guys, if today you never say good enough, tomorrow you'll always have enough. What I'm saying is the character of who you are. It's not the title that makes you. It's not the success that makes you. The character defines the success, defines the fame, and it starts right there. Championships aren't won in the theater of the arena. They're won in the thousands of hours in the training room, in the labs, in the 5 a.m. runs, and when it's raining, when everyone else is sleeping. That's when it's won. The heart of a champion is a light switch that's always on. It doesn't go on and off when someone's watching. It's constant. It's how you look at something. If your name's attached to it, that you do it right, the best of your ability every single time. If you're dusting your countertops, do you dust around the picture frame, or do you pick the up and dust the entire thing? Do the job right or don't do it at all. That's the same person who has his hand raised on the podium one day. Same motherfuckers. How you hold yourself in the small things of life. Build the character winning blocks of the things that we're remembered for. I see them as one and one the same, guys. It begins right now with no one looking, man. And how you hold yourself, how you see yourself. What do you do when no one's watching? If you do it then, I guarantee you, you'll be doing it when everyone's watching.
You know, there comes a day, man. Everyone's gonna have this day. There comes a day where being average, being mediocre is just sickening to you. It's just sickening. It makes you want to throw up. Because you've seen people with far less talent than you. As you're growing up with them, their childhood buddies, whatever else, they didn't have what you had. Yet now they're fucking to become something that you haven't. There comes that day. It's either when you're young, you know, and it strikes you on the baseball field because you're sick of striking out. Or it's when you get fired from your 5th job, you know, and your wife and kids are on your ass because you don't know how to support them anymore. There comes a fucking day where push comes to shove. Where being mediocre and being like average and shit just fucking burns and sucks so much. You can't deal with it one more day. And you get off your fucking ass. And you create something that's always been there. It's always been inside of you trying to come out. But you've never wanted to unwrap it because there's too much fucking pain and commitment. You were scared you were going to fail. You were scared if you started, you never finish it. You didn't want to tell anyone about it. You knew it was there, but you never wanted to embark on it. Until something fucking hits. You get fired or somebody else gets success, remind you of what you could have been. And then the fucking spark is born. And no matter what happens, I'm never going to be in this boat again. And you get up and you go, even if it gets knocked down, you just keep going. You're a wild man. And life has never been so sweet. That can happen at an early age. It can happen at a later age. It's going to happen to somebody no matter what, it's going to happen to you. And when it does happen to you, thank your lucky stars that finally you're alive. It's time to unwrap the potential you can be. Superior, man. It's within you. It's within every single one of us. And the people that have risen to that level were no different than any one of us. It's just they believed it and they were willing to work their fucking ass off to get it. It wasn't about the potential. It wasn't about the genetics. It was about the perseverance. And it wasn't about being the hardest fucking worker in the room. That's what got them there. And it didn't happen overnight. They got knocked down more than they ever stood up. But they kept going and kept going and kept going and kept going because what else is the alternative? To be average again. That sucks, man. And it really sucks when you've tasted success at one point in your life. When you have sex with a woman and it's the best sex ever, you want to have sex with her again. When you eat a fucking great juicy steak, man, you want to have that again. When you go out and you train hard to play baseball and you connect and you hit the winning home run, you want to feel that way again. When you taste these finer things of life, all the pain, all the work, all the sacrifice to get them is well worth it. If anything, it's a small down payment for the price and the reward you got and that feeling. And once felt, how do you ever turn your back on it? Stop running from the potential of what you can be, guys. It's inside of you. It's always been there. Grab a buddy of yours. Say, man, me and you are going to fucking do this together. And you're going to be on my ass if I start slacking. I'm going to be on your ass if I start slacking. And I'll never accept mediocre again. I'm always going to give it my 110 fucking percent. That's the only thing I can ever say a solid day's work. That's all that will ever find peace in. If you guys do not do that, I promise you, your life will haunt you for the rest of your days. If there's potential inside of you, which you know it's there, but you're too scared to tell anyone else about it, and you go on and on, get older and older and older and older, and the windows of opportunity start to close, and you knew it could have been given birth to, but you never did it, I promise you, it will haunt you. It's a living nightmare, dude. That fact that you had the ability to do something and you're too weak to fucking turn the key and start the engine on it is a greater disappointment and a greater burden to carry than any of this physical sweat equity or pain in the gym or sacrifice. All that is just nothing compared to a life where you're burdened by regret, guys. I hope you guys get what the fuck I'm saying. I'm telling you what, man, once you get it, come on over this side of the fence, you don't see fucking problems anymore, man. You see situations. You see possibilities. And you can't wait to get them started, man. You're like, why did I wait so long to engage? It doesn't matter about the past. It's today. What are we doing today? Or are we going to engage now? And once we engage, we commit. There's no half commitment. There's no quarter commitment. There's no three-quarter. It's full commitment. Once we engage, it's every fucking day we engage. Because that's the better life. And the people you will surround yourself are like-minded. And they're better friends. Friends and family for life, man. They have your back. They're solid individuals doing solid tasks, leaving a solid impact of legacy for other people. That's a fucking solid life, man. It's your option, though. What are you gonna do?
Words like integrity and honor and discipline, character, they're lost in society. That's why when you see something pure, it just jumps off the page, jumps off the screen, jumps off. You just like, gotta have it. So you figure all this out, man. And you go through the gym and all the pain, there's a lot of pain there. But if you push past the pain, then you feel that pride, man. You get kind of choked up about it. Because it's worthy of being choked up about it. I'm sitting here talking to a fucking camera, man, getting all fucking mystified about it. Because it's that alive. It holds that much value, man. Someone gives you a check, you cash it, you don't even know what that is, man. I give you a title, you don't know what that is. It's not until you've earned that fucker. You understand the value of it, man. Ranger school, man, it wasn't about becoming a ranger. That got me to start the course because I respected the elite brotherhood there. The title, the echelon of success that such a small group of society that has that right to call themselves. But that was quickly gone the first fucking day, man. Beating my ass up. You know, I walk in at 2 or 3 in the morning and, hey, shit stick, get the fuck down. Man, I didn't walk 3 feet into that compound. 500 push-ups, man, I can't move my arms. And I got 70 days of this shit. I'm only 5 minutes into it. I'm already dead. And I came into the best shape of my life. Oh my God, man. You think that title is in my mind at that point? I don't think so. What keeps me going? When you're in the gym, you know, to get in shape. That sounds great when you're sitting on the couch or you're back before the starting line wargaming how great it'd be to finish the marathon under 3 hours. But when you start running the third, fourth mile, all of a sudden, whoa, we lose our interest on that goal because it gets too hard. You gotta find more fucking value and believe in yourself before you embark on these journeys. And once you have it, guys, let's jump forward. Once you have that belief, let's say you can figure that belief out. That's so strong that it overrides the crowd's disbelief, the adversities, anything. You welcome that shit because that right there is supposed to fucking happen. Because without that kind of abuse on you, you will not become the battle-tested, proven champion that holds the title that has the value of the title. You never become what a Ranger tab fucking means. You must go through those ends. Hit rock bottom. Your worst hour of despair becomes your best as you get back up. You learn from that. And then you continue to put one foot in front of the other. But it's not work, it's love. Because what you're going for is what you believe. Once you believe in something, guys, then you can actually begin to have a career in any endeavor. But if it's a fitness endeavor, let's talk about that fitness endeavor. The fitness modeling endeavor. How to find value in that. First of all, you're selling something eventually, right? So, would you buy it? Here's a question. Would you buy what you're about to sell? Well, in order to buy something, right, there has to be value. For me to spend my hard-earned money into something, there must be some form of fucking value. And then the value has to be proven. You gotta have credibility behind that. Value. Walking the talk. If you're a trainer, Samuel, you've already entered competitions because you believe in yourself enough that you are that. Why would you ever embark on training somebody that they're paying you money, but fuck the money, they're believing in you to help them? There's a higher responsibility here. These people holding out for you, looking for some help, and you're coming up short. You're not quite in shape. You might have some fucking book you read or something. You might, have heard, read a book or something, but fuck reading the book. I don't want to talk to you if you read the book. I want to talk to the fucking author that wrote the book. The credibility, the value behind it. I don't want you to plagiarize something. I don't want you to copy or duplicate whatever's already been done. I want you to be a fucking original. How about that? Scary, but how about that? In order to do that, you have to have value in who you are. You can't look at the end state of the paycheck. You have to look at the daily task of transforming somebody. That internal pride you feel. And I created my website because the world and what I knew in fitness when I first started out and when I started to make this site was missing a fundamental echelon of truth. I got so sick of the magazines and the supplement companies and the products just selling to your lethargic nature. Saying there's a quicker fix to something. You don't have to go through all that pain and learn so much. We'll give you the results right now. Those results don't have any value. They will never last. I got so fed up with it. That was the value that I wanted to replace. I wanted to put inside the void that was going to be filled. I developed a website for that, to get the truth out there. The truth that I fucking walked. I've been up, I've been down, I've been shit on all the time. Still here. Judge me. I fucking hit the ranks of the top cover guy. There's been how many people that come up? There's one guy get like 2 or 3 covers here. Oh, he's gonna take Greg out. 8 years of this shit. I've seen him come, see him go, see him come, see him go. I'm still fucking here. Why? Because I built my foundational fucking value that stands the test of time. I'm not here to make a buck. I'm here to make a fucking difference.
You know what pissed me off, man? The word caution here. That we need to be apologetic. I'm sorry for the construction site and how this looks. This might not be appealing to your eyes when you come to work out here. That we need to apologize for the transformation of something that one day they're going to thank you for. They're going to thank you for the great establishment here, the open space. But before that happens, we have to say under construction, it's closed. I'm sorry. It's caution. Bullshit. It's courageous. Because no one does it. Everyone sits by in what is. Everyone is just doing the normal. Everyone wants this to be great, but no one wants to put the work into it. So they're just a fucking wannabe. No one wants to be more than that. Because a wannabe into a wannabe more calls effort, action, to do something with your life. Causes the nails and the bolts and the tools to come out. And get turned on, the sweat equity is dripping and believing in something. Everyone else is like, oh, I'm so sorry for this. It looks bad. This is a transformation, guys, into greatness. Just like your body, you come in here, the gym, you're dying, man. It's hurting, You know, it's just like you're sore the next day. You got that DOMS effect going on. And you're just like, oh my God. But you believe in the process. You continue the journey. And what happens is it starts to become alive. It starts to take fruition. You see it. You go from weak to strong, from fat to thin, from soft to hard. The transformation in between, no one wants to look at. You gotta put up fucking signs and shit. You gotta apologize for making yourself better. Who the fuck is believing that? That's fucking bullshit. When I'm talking about mindset, guys, I'm talking about the same ideology where one person says caution. I say, congratulations for making something that was acceptable into something that's great. Good enough. If that's your philosophy, will always lead tomorrow not having enough. This was good enough. Could be better. They say if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Well, if it could be better, it's as good as broken. So we're gonna take something that's good enough, that is workable. It ain't broke, but we're gonna fix it along the way. And in fixing it, we're gonna create something that we don't fucking tell people we're caution about. We're gonna say, get the fuck ready for what's about to come. Remembering what it was before it becomes. Mentally believing in who we are before physically starting that endeavor. Seeing the unseen in order to achieve the impossible. All these things are remembering who you were when you become that person. They always say, remember who you were. Remember, don't forget who you were. They say that in the wrong tense. They say that in a tense of celebrity status. Don't get too jaded. Stay grounded. Bullshit. Because if you remember that person, where you currently are, as great as you think it is, it's just an intermission to the rest of your life and where you can be. Don't stop the journey is what they're saying. Don't forget where you came from. Remember that person that was hungry, that wanted more. Remember that person now, because you have more to get. Don't let society's caution tape stop you from your pursuit of where you can be. Don't be a wannabe. Want to be more. Want to put the work in. Everybody in life, guys, wants to be something. No one wants to just be a wannabe. Everyone wants to be the lawyer, wants to be the doctor, wants to be the inspiration, wants to be someone of principle. No one wants to be forgotten. This workout is going to arm ourselves for that perfection. Just because the caution tape is right here and not throughout the gym, don't think the rest of this gym isn't a caution too. Under construction, because that's why everyone's here. Under construction, physically, from where the pathetic ass was to the dream of the wanna-be more of where they can be. That's what's happening today. The construction portion is arms, the forearms, the biceps, the triceps, armed for perfection, armed for whatever life throws at us to be ready for. Every set at the very end, guys, exhausted, hurting a bit. That hurt is not a hurt of the physical temporary pain you feel. It's a hurt for more. That you don't want to be the wannabe. You want to create something of inspiration. You're hurting because you're not fucking there yet. I always say, guys, I don't say goodbye to the set until the pain says hello. That pain isn't, two forms of pain. The one that actually hurts you, the other one that encourages you. That type of pain I'm talking about right there. That feeling when you're feeling drained. The reason why you're feeling drained isn't because you just gave it your all. It's because where you currently are is drained on where you think you should be. Meaning in your life. What could be and what currently is, the margin, the separation there is draining. So with every drop of sweat here and pain you feel, where you give it all you have and you drain yourself, you are draining the margin of where you are to where you want to be and making it a possibility. It's the beginning of a process that will lead to the ultimate satisfaction. If you are on it, get on it. In life, it's either one or two options. It's either you arm yourself or you defend yourself. When you arm yourself, you're offensive mode, going after the objective. You get the sideline and shoulder a few things if you want. If you're defending your perimeter, you have to, you're forced in that nature to take everything that life throws at you. When you're armed and ready, you're moving forward. It's defending itself. No fucking caution tape around me, man. The reason why is because the tape's there for the non-players, man, the non-players, so we don't upset their delicate framework of what they're visually seeing of something that is going to be great for their too weak mind to even see that this construction could produce that. They're too weak to see that. That's why they're never going to do anything in their life. You have to see the value in the pain, the value in the transformation, the value in the construction. You don't put caution tapes up, keeping people away from that. You should welcome it. You should say, welcome, motherfuckers. Do this with your life. And you can have something better than you were yesterday. There's no fucking caution tape here. I welcome you into this. Fuck that caution bullshit. Seriously, guys, this is right now what we're feeling right now. This sweat equity is the sawdust therapy, the sawdust, stage of a transformation and construction from what could be into what was. What was, it was decent, it was good, but not good enough for us. That philosophy, good enough, doesn't make tomorrow have enough. So therefore, we rip the motherfucker down. We're ripping the biceps down, the triceps down. We're going through the sweat equity, the pain of it all, into fulfillment of greatness of what we want to be. That's what this is about. Every set you put a smile on your face, but you're getting closer and closer to that forever dream that everyone dreams about, wants to be, but never is. Today we're making those steps to ensure we're not the wannabe. What are your questions? What the fuck are your questions? In all honesty, people question things and they sit down and they, hey, what do I do here? What do I do there? Guys, one day you gotta graduate life. You can't always be the pupil. You gotta be the master. You gotta be the guy that's creating the material for others to try to study from. You can't always ask a question. You're asking a question because you don't believe in the journey you're about to embark on. Mentally, you must believe it before you physically start it. Otherwise, it will never reach prosperity. Your questions will be figured out. When you hit rock bottom and you fail and you hit the fucking pavement, you'll learn to fucking catch yourself. That's the lesson you never forget. Stop trying to learn from everybody else. Believe in yourself as enough of a reason to transform into something great. Stop sitting back saying, yeah, man, that'd be cool, I want to be this, I want to be that. Grab your fucking nuts and be it. Whatever's up here will create what's down here. And if you got trash upstairs, don't expect anything great to come below. I don't know about you guys, man, but every time we're doing this shit, man, I get worked up, man. As the pain comes in, I get an attitude, I get a sense of anxiety, cause you're on that path. That path is just such a better place to be than the neutral stalemate, green room effect. It's I want the camera rolling in life, man. When you get on there, you get an attitude going. Man, it's a unquenchable thirst. It's an unquenchable thirst where every sip it just stays so good. And you know where it's going and you believe in it. It's a marriage of cause and effect of where you were to where you want to be. And it's just let's get there, man. And you have a taste of it and you're everything else tastes like shit. I want more of that. By doing all this, the sweat, the blood, the sweat, tears and everything else, you get to taste more of it. When you finish these guys, when you really hit it to exhaustion, when the buys and then the tries in a 3% fashion, where you're feeling that warmth, that blood pump in the bicep, and then the reverse fuck around, the warmth in the fucking tricep, the warmth comes together in some kind of explosion of excitement. It's motherfucker's alive. This fucking thing is armed, man. Watch the fuck out. Ain't no fucking wannabe here, because a wannabe is full of wannabe action. That's why they end up being a wannabe. If you want to be more, then your action better be fucking more. That's why this set's not fucking done yet. Here we go. It's gotta be that way. It's gotta be that painful. If it's ever gonna be enough to transform what you want to be, what you are, it's gotta be that way, man. Don't accept anything else. Everything else is secondary. It's gotta be that fucking hard. Because what you're going for is that impossible. Again, guys, every single day, if your efforts are great, your outcome will be great. If you train excellence, when you get excellence, it ain't an accident. It's the fucking habit of daily rigor that you accept, welcome as your fucking bedrock lifestyle. One of the best quotes I heard this week from American Idol. As the contestants going there to find out who's made it through to the next round, and he's just freaking out, you know? And so the host, Seacrest, is like, hey man, how you feeling? He's like, I'm sweating, man, I'm sweating. And Seacrest's like, what are you sweating? He goes, mostly water. Because if you think about it, that is the most pure answer you could ever give. Everything else is the outcome to be, which you have a positive control on how it goes. Why are you sweating something that you are in control of? You only sweat what you can't control. So his answer, you know, what are you sweating there? What are you sweating? He goes, mainly water. It's so fucking awesome. I love that. Because everything else, he's not sweating it. Why is he not sweating? Why does he not have anxiety? Why is he not worried? Because he's put the time in the past to create the ability he has now. Going forward, he's in control. He's in the driver's seat. He's not sweating the outcome. He's just sweating water. You get up in the morning, man, you take that fucking shower, you take that fucking body you are naked, you go to the closet, what am I gonna wear today? How about this? You can put that in your fucking wardrobe if you want. Lightweight, high reps, man. Towards the end of our arm workout here. This is all, I mean, all the real fucking grind's been done. Now we'll just put the finishing touches. Like basically the wall's been built, man. The construction site's done. Now we're just caulking and painting, you know what I mean? But that caulking and painting will make or break the visual difference. So don't think it's time to cut it short. You cut it short when you get the fuck out of here. Give it your all until you get out of here. That way, when you get out of here, everything else is taken care of. Here, let me give you a little fucking lesson here, guys. Hey, ding, 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 class just started. Subject today is about pain. How does pain work in the body? When there is a deficiency in the body, when there's something not working to plan, the body coats that. Like you have a shoulder problem, right? They'll put nerves in there, meaning something's not quite working right. Something is not working right. So therefore, when you try to work it, something that's broken, temporary out of service, your brain sends a message to you, painful, 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 so you stop. So you don't damage it more. That's what pain is. It's a beautiful thing. It's ingenious how the body works. So when you guys are feeling a positive pain of working hard, do not think it's anything different than you fixing something that's insufficient in your life. That pain is a message back. Hey, guess what? Congratulations. Congratulations. You're finally putting effort in to fix that weak chain in your chain of life. To make yourself that much more of a well-rounded individual. Smile. A+. We're not just trying to make it through. We're trying to exceed the motherfucker. Maybe I should put some caution up for all the wannabes watching instead of the bees doing. Fuck all. So if you guys are throwing on all this weight or you're fucking calling me out saying, yo man, Greg, that looks kind of weak, man, no weight there. Well, maybe you didn't do this workout to your fullest. Because if you're coming to this portion of the fucking workout and you just start throwing on plates here and stuff, I'm wondering what plates you didn't throw on back then. Guys, again, your ego has to be checked at the door. Your ego is your worst enemy in here. Your ego is the external confidence that if you try and do something to satisfy and get the likability and the agreeability of a third party, they will not help you on your endeavors to success. They will just get in the way. Don't allow they aren't paying the bills, man, so don't give them any value. Check your ego at the door. Work the correct form. The correct form is the fastest way to the solutions you want and crossing that finish line endeavors that you're going for. Here, we're gonna grab this bar right on the edge, man. Drop our wrist right on the end here. This is so cool, man. It's like, it's my hand, but I can't control it. That must be a good set then. That's the workout, guys. Arms workout, man. Armed and dangerous. I say that jokingly, armed and dangerous, but in all actuality, it's the truth, man. It's, yeah, we worked our arms, man. Our arms are good, man, whatever else. But the dangerous part, and anyone looking on, that's why they put the caution tape up in a transformation. The dangerous part is when somebody believes in themselves. That's when they're armed and fucking dangerous. In there, we created something that makes us armed, makes us have the physical capability, but without the mental edge to drive that force. It doesn't matter what you are out here. This is just the messenger of what the purity is saying down here. If we don't believe it, this can't do anything, man. That's what makes it dangerous, man. When you fall in love with the transformation, the construction site that other people say, caution, excuse me, pardon me for our inconvenience and everything else, for the way this looks. I don't pardon shit. I say you better fucking take notes. Because this right here is gonna make it for you too, man. You can stop being the wannabe. You can become it. You can stop hoping and start demanding it. You can stop being the student taking notes and become the subject matter expert that others try to emulate and take notes on. Now we're talking about something that is dangerous. How do you get there? You gotta arm yourself first. Arm yourself in there, and every day you're starting to sharpen your arsenal. You're willing to sacrifice today for tomorrow's betterment. You're willing to pay those payments of pain. Because that pain is just a message that you're fixing something that's insufficient in your life. Now it becomes exciting. We're exhausted, physically drained, man. Mentally. Excited. Let's watch. Great play, help me stay fit. But really, more than staying fit, man, helping you believe that being fit is the only fucking option.